Town Board meeting of July 21st, 2016 to order. Visitors are invited to join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Councilwoman Barnum.
Here.
Councilwoman Hush-Thuray.
Here.
Councilman Perticone.
Here.
Councilman Weiner. Supervisor Seeley.
Here.
And attorney for the town.
Here.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being in attendance. Before we go on with our body of work tonight, we have a few pre-meeting items that I'd like to get out of the way. Good stuff. A few announcements. Most of you know we had a festive, well-attended Independence Day celebration. I'd like to thank all the residents who visited Town Hall over the course of the long weekend, as well as all the staff and volunteers who really helped make this the best celebration. I could say in the area, but I say in the state as well. So I look comfortable up here right now, but I'm still reeling from the beating I took today at Camp Eastman as I joined our little Woodcraft campers in a friendly game of Nerf Dart Capture the Flag. I was the largest, slowest target and thus the most popular target, and Nate is now showing pictures of it to the people watching at home. Thank you, Nate. But it showcased all the good things we have going on in our recreation program. Our recreation staff does a terrific job, and if you visit any of the elementary schools around town or Camp Eastman, you can see that at play. It really is nice to see the kids having a fun time out in the beautiful weather. Our neighborhood enhancement program is now in its second year. In addition to the popular grant application program we started last year, we've started a new initiative centered on facilitating the growth of neighborhood associations in Irondequoit. The goal of this is to bring Irondequoit together, residents together, and also enhance neighborhoods' communication with Town Hall. I'm happy to say that in 2 weeks we've had much more interest than we anticipated. We have about a dozen groups in the process of being formed. There's initial meetings taking place throughout the town. It's good to see people being brought together. If you are interested in starting a group in your neighborhood or seeing if one is being formed in your neighborhood, please visit the Building Neighborhoods page on the town's website or call 336-6034. The town's annual National Night Out celebration will take place Wednesday, August 3rd, the evening at Town Hall. At this event, we celebrate the strong relationship between our community and our police department, something which we all should be very proud of as residents. I encourage all residents to come to Town Hall for a night of fun and entertainment, but more importantly, I encourage you to come to support the men and the women who make up the Irondequoit Police Department in an effort to show Irondequoit's appreciation for the work they do to keep our community safe. That's something we should always celebrate year-round, but I think at this point in time, it's more, I guess, acutely felt. So we would like to see a good turnout on the campus the evening of August 3rd. Attendance at the market's been good, as you can see outside. Our entertainment continues, and as well as our movies under the stars. August 4th, we have The Good Dinosaur. August 18th, we show Inside Out, one of my new favorite movies. As we speak, they're setting up for Minions, so as you leave, you'll probably see a lot of young children flocking towards the West Lawn. These movies begin at dusk, so they'll be starting earlier and earlier as we go through August. I'm proud to say the new ball fields behind Town Hall are nearly complete and ready for play. We'll be having a ceremony in early September to mark this occasion. I'll have more details to follow. I'd like to encourage all residents to take a brief moment to complete the long-range library plan survey. The library board is in the process of updating its long-range plan. The community's input and feedback are needed to inform the direction and recommendation of this plan. Links currently are available on the town's website and the library website. Hard copies are available at the library and senior center. And Irondequoit's Super Reunion will take place at Camp Eastman on Saturday, August 13th from 1 to 9 p.m. for alumni of our 3 high schools in town from the years between 1965 and 1985. You can find more information by searching for Super Reunion 2016 on Facebook. And I searched it today, and it looks like there's going to be a good turnout. They brought in the participation, but it looks like there's going to be hundreds of former Irondequoit alumni from East Ridge, West Irondequoit, and Bishop Kearney. So look into that if you're a graduate of one of those 3 schools. Our Sunday summer concert series runs till August 14th. That starts at 2:30 on every Sunday for free entertainment. There will be a blood drive at Town Hall on Tuesday, August 9th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Please call my office at 336-6034 if you're willing to participate. And lastly, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention a pair of fundraising efforts for little Avery Sinisu, a young Irondequoit resident who's going through her third lapse of leukemia that's been widely reported in the media. A very sad, inspiring tale, and she's venturing through this process again, and she's a tough little cookie, and the community really has come out in support for her. There'll be a tap takeover at I Square this Saturday, July 23rd at 7 p.m., as well as a Team Avery picnic on Sunday, August 21st from noon to 5 p.m. I just ask residents, please keep this little girl in your thoughts and prayers. I'm now going to ask the board to join me up front as we reignite our Good Neighbor Award in Irondequoit. So please join me up front. The Good Neighbor Award was something that former Supervisor Bello started, and we've worked to continue. What it really does is it showcases the best of Irondequoit. It's a grassroots process whereby neighbors nominate their neighbors to be recognized by the town board, by the community. Sometimes it's for something specific, an act of heroism, a good deed. Sometimes it's just for being a really good person who lends a hand to the rest of the neighborhood. Tonight, we are going to recognize Tom and Elaine Brady for the Good Neighbor Award. And I will read from the nomination letter as follows. For many years, Tom and Elaine Brady of 279 Totem Trail have been exceptional neighbors to many of the residents of Totem Trail. They have organized and hosted many block parties for the neighborhood and have offered the use of their yard, pool, and home for these events. This gave all of the neighbors an opportunity to socialize and to welcome those who were new to the street. The Bradys also allowed all the kids in the neighborhood use of their basketball hoop. Even after their son, Andrew, had moved on to his Irondequoit home, they encouraged the neighborhood kids to continue to use it and even replaced it with a brand new basketball hoop when it was all worn out. Elaine Brady is always friendly and welcoming, waving hello and complimenting the kids on the street and whatever activity they are involved in, whether it be basketball, baseball, football, etc. She is always interested in what they are up to, as well as the positive and encouraging comments. On more than one occasion, Tom has assisted with the clearing of snow in neighbors' driveways. He is always offering a helping hand with any yard projects that might be going on and complimenting the latest renovation or landscaping project. They are both very welcoming and have offered to help many of the residents in many ways. It is people like Tom and Elaine Brady that make Totem Trail and Irondequoit a great place to live and raise a family. They are very deserving of the Good Neighbor Award. So I'd like to bring Tom and Elaine up. And please be followed by your neighbors in attendance. How are you? And are your neighbors here as well? I know one of them. Come on up. We're going to do a picture.
Thank you.
Sir, how are you? Don't be shy. Half of the joy is a surprise. So, how are you? That she can't tell is very sneaky, isn't it? All right, let's all just do it. Let's all smile. Very nice. Thank you.
I know. He's just sitting there going. He must be the one who graduated and went on.
Yeah.
Bought his own house. Okay. So it's great.
Very cute.
It's nice to see neighbors supporting one another. And I'll just remind people again, if you have someone you'd like to nominate, it's always a good occasion when we can come and celebrate the good people of Irondequoit and surprise them sometimes as well. So congratulations and thank you for being here, all of you. Public input. We have 3 people signed up for public input, but it is open participation. So if you did not sign up after the first 3, you can come up and I will call an open call. The first person who wishes to speak is Terry Carter. Mr. Carter, how are you?
Good.
Please say your name and your address.
Terry Carter, 99 Oak Ridge Drive, resident of the town since 1980, following appropriate process. The recent outreach meeting for building sidewalks on Oak Ridge Drive was a unique experience for me. It was the first time I had ever been asked to provide public input on a decision that had already been made. Obtaining public input is part of the decision-making process. It raised concerns that we may not be following appropriate processes in town government. It also raised concerns about transparency. If residents are made aware of a decision after it is made, are there other decisions being made that residents are not aware of? I am merely asking the question. It is not all that long ago that a previous administration, together with many residents, experienced a difficult time due, at least in part, I believe, to not seeking public input in advance and not rigorously following appropriate processes, the R7 rezoning application and the library. Just because something is not written down in a procedure book should not prevent good government and the use of common sense and sound reasoning. It was reassuring to receive the letter from the board and the supervisor informing us that they were seeking additional input and information on the proposal to build sidewalks on Oak Ridge Drive. As part of this, I suggest that the supervisor and board complete a survey of only the residents of Oak Ridge Drive, those who would be affected and benefit from the building of sidewalks. A decision made based on input in part from residents of other streets is a concern and I believe inappropriate. I would be okay with whatever decision the majority of my fellow residents make, but not people that live on other streets. With all that said, speed and traffic on Oak Ridge Drive and the resulting safety concerns are a problem that must be resolved. My daughter learned to ride a bicycle on there many years ago, starting with training wheels. I've been walking and jogging since 1980. I've never had any problems, but recently the speed and the traffic's increased. While we consider sidewalks, I believe the first step should be to install speed bumps and another stop sign, or maybe 2. As one example, I'm quite familiar with Canterbury Road in the city. It runs between 2 very busy thoroughfares, Culver Road and Monroe Avenue, and runs parallel to 490. From what I see from frequent visits there, the presence of speed bumps has reduced through traffic to a minimum and effectively helps to control traffic speed. Thank you for your time and attention. Good night.
Next up, we have Greg Devlin. Good evening, Mr. Devlin.
Good evening, how are you?
I'm well, sir.
Ed.
Thank you.
You can sit back, relax, no criticisms. But seriously, I wanted to iterate what Mr. Carter just said about the sidewalks. I would like to see you keep us informed. We got the letter, said you're going to be visiting every resident. I think that's good. But all the other issues that came up, we'd like to be informed on how things are going. Along with that, I'd like to point out, the recent incident we had at Durand Eastman, the shooting incident and such. Guess where all the traffic went that got diverted? Down Oak Ridge. There was so much traffic, such a line of cars. That's the first time in years I've seen it go slow. I'm not advocating we do that, but the point is that speed is a huge issue. But speaking of traffic and stuff like that, last time I asked about Hudson Avenue and the striping, and you said you believed it would remain 2 lanes all the way down. I don't think that's your fault that they didn't do that. I suspect it is a county thing because it's the county roads, and they are, in fact, as I understand it, doing that. The more they do that, the more they reduce how much they have to pay the town for the lanes that, or for the miles that you actually plow, or lane miles, I believe it's called. Am I right about that?
More or less, yes.
More or less. And as we've seen over the last number of years, we've seen Titus, we've seen Lakeshore, we've seen St. Paul is all the way now, Hudson, etc. A lot of lane miles have been reduced, but you still have to go ahead and plow the same amount of pavement. So I have a suggestion, question and suggestion. You may think I'm nuts, but instead of renewing the contract with the county, why don't you say we're not going to do it? Since you're reducing payments to us, we have to still spend the same amount of money. Tell them you're not going to do it. If you've already got a contract signed for this year, tell them ahead of time that you're not going to do it next year, because they're hurting the town in the process that they're following. Just a simple suggestion. And I may be wrong, but that really is a suggestion. One other question and suggestion. Thursday night is a very busy night around here. This meeting used to be held on Tuesday. And I suspect that the reasons why it was held on Thursday have now evaporated, according to an unnamed member of the Democratic Committee, what that person told me. I'd like to recommend we go back to Tuesday. We've got the farmer's market, we've got the movie, we've got the concert band, and we've got this meeting. That parking lot is jammed. People are going around and around and around. They have no place to park. And if we had it on a night when there is nothing else going on, we might get more participation. I would think that's a goal. I would hope. So that's my thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you. Jeff Conzel? Evening, sir.
Mr. Supervisor. Jeff Conzel, 126 Oak Ridge Drive. Addressing the concerns about the Oak Ridge Drive sidewalk project, I echo the previous two speakers' concerns. In addition, I bring up the cost because my understanding is from talking with Joe Morelli's office is that $60,000 has been allocated for this project. My conservative estimates, and I've spoken with an engineer at one of the local project management firms, is upwards of $200,000 for the sidewalks.
Can I just, it's more money from the state has been allocated. I'd be happy to follow up with you
Okay.
about the
Sure,
correct number,
sure.
but it is more than that.
Okay. My other concern is the initial petition. I foiled the petition. I counted up all the signatures, 193 total signatures, of which 62 came from other streets other than Oak Ridge. Tyringham, Scotch Lane, Pine Grove Avenue, and Tulip Tree Lane. Now, I removed some of the other, there were a lot of duplicates in there. Some households had 4 and 5 signatures in them. So doing some simple math there, I found a 50-50 split, east side, west side of Oak Ridge Drive. Another resident walked around with a petition in opposition of the sidewalks, and basically I think there was approximately 90 signatures. So all told, we've got a 50-50 split between those that are in favor and those who are opposed to the sidewalk construction project. As Mr. Carter stated, I personally am not opposed to sidewalks going in. I want the process to be correct. And my only desire is if whatever sidewalk goes in there, that it matches the character of the neighborhood. A bleach white sidewalk going in on Oak Ridge Drive look horrendous. That's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Conzel. The list is still open. If anyone else would wish to come address the board, yes, miss. Would you please say your name and your address? Thank you.
Good evening, board members. My name is Joanne Mudge. I reside at 80 Beacon View Court. I'm speaking in opposition to Lighthouse Point Apartment Project. I speak for over 100 residents who have gone on record at previous zoning and planning board meetings. The petition is enclosed. I will leave it with the town clerk. It is a signed petition. Each individual has signed, and there's contact information with their street address and telephone and email address. We would like to repeat our feelings that this project will have a negative impact on our neighborhood. That's the River Harbor District neighborhood, and the quality of life for the residents of the River Harbor District. Knowing that development of this area is in the town's master plan, we acknowledge that, and we feel that adherence to the master plan would lessen this negative impact. The zoning code calls for an area density that this proposed project exceeds by nearly 50%. It is this excess that we must oppose. Additionally, the current proposed buildings would put two of the tallest buildings in the entire town. Not in our business district, but in the middle of single-family residence that's 74 feet tall, two buildings. I ask you, each one of you, does this sound reasonable for our neighborhood? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mudge. And you can leave that with the clerk. Thank you. We'll make sure she disseminates a copy to all the board members. Would anyone else in audience wish to come up? Evening, sir.
Hello, I'm John Shalee. I live at 100 Beacon View Court. So I'm also speaking in opposition of Lighthouse Point. I have two young children, and one is 1 year old, one is 7 years old. And this project frightens me because of the property that it's on, because it's polluted. I don't oppose development. Superintendent Seeley knows I have a lot of the same friends as him. A lot of them are in development. A lot of my clients are in development, so I'm not opposed to development. I think even across the street where I think it was the Moose Lodge might be a good spot. But with it being polluted there, I'm nervous that once they start digging, stuff's going to get blown around. It's very windy down there. We're right by the lake. And I think other people, other residents of the town might also be concerned about that too. Even farther up Thomas, there's a daycare down on Pattonwood, and once that stuff starts blowing around, who knows? So I just wanted to voice my concern that I'm scared for the children in our neighborhood, because there's a ton of kids. So thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else wish to address the board? Come on up, sir.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Bob Cowan. I live at 461 Lafayette Road. And what I wanted to do was, approximately 2 weeks ago, I was watching NICAT TV program, and there was a mention of some money being appropriated or raised by Joe Morelli to help pay for a baseball diamond or baseball field. And so I was wondering, I heard of that mention, it came from a dormitory fund. And I do not know how money goes from a dormitory fund, which I thought might be for some kind of residences, like at Monroe Community College, student residences, how that would be going to a baseball field.
If I may, most money, capital dollars that are appropriated by the state of New York go through the Dormitory Authority. I don't know if when the Dormitory Authority was first set up, it was just for student housing. Over the years, most capital expenditures, that's the conduit by which capital projects are reviewed and administered. So the Dormitory Authority name is almost, it isn't relevant anymore because it covers most capital expenditures by the state of New York.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Anyone else? Okay, hearing none, thank you all for coming. We appreciate your input. We will now move on to the financial report.
This financial report as of June 2016 marks the end of the first half of the year. Total expenditures and encumbrances for the town are slightly higher than budget at 51.2% or $17,487,000. There are $14,592,000 of actual expenses, leaving $2,895,000 of encumbrances, a reasonable amount for this time of year. The general fund expenses are 48.1% of budget, $9,632,000, below the 50% of the year that has elapsed. The breakdown is actual expenditures $8,827,000 and encumbrances $805,000. The collective expenses of the highway funds equate to $3,404,000, 64.8% of budget. That's higher than the percent of the year that has elapsed. The high expenses are primarily result from encumbrances. For gas, encumbrances for gas, fuel, and asphalt in Highway 1, and for vehicle maintenance, equipment parts, and debt service in Highway 3. Highway 4's expenditures are influenced by both the actual and committed salt purchases. The library expenses are 56.3% of budget, $1,288,000. So far this year, the library has incurred a $429,000 annual debt service expense for a bond anticipation note. That amount is approximately 19% of the fund's budget. As we progress through the year, the expectation is that the library expenditure percent will be more closely aligned to the percent of the year that has elapsed. The expenses of the other major funds are as follows. The sewer fund has expended $2,110,000, 48.9% of budget. Included our cost is an encumbrance of $246,000 for the purchase of a heavy-duty dump truck. Stormwater drainage expenses total $542,000, 44.9% of budget. The drainage fund also has a $246,000 encumbrance for the purchase of a heavy-duty dump truck. The general fund revenue is $13,225,000, 67.2% of budget. 100% of the tax revenue of $10.6 million for the fund is in. All of the pilot payments that are currently due are in, $168,000. Sales tax for January and February of $574,000 has been received to date. Also received to date is 3 months of mortgage tax, $180,000, and that equates to 25% of budget. The other major revenue line items are not due yet. $188,000 of recreation program fees have been collected and are favorable to budget at 62.8%. The town summary after 6 months, total revenue for the town is $24.6 million, 75.1% of the total revenue. The library has received $2,199,000, 96.1% of revenue. 85.3% of the highways revenue is in, $4,477,000. And sewer has collected $4.3 million of revenue, and that equates to 100.3% of that fund's budget. Because this is the end of the second quarter, there is a page 3 in this report, which is the second quarter summary and comparison to the prior 6 years. The expenditures are detailed by fund, and they are at the top third of the page. The percent of budget spent and encumbered for the town range from 47% to 51.2%. And that is for the current year and the 6 years prior. This year, the town is at 51.2%, and that's primarily due to the current high cost in the library that I just mentioned, and the encumbrances for the heavy-duty dump trucks in sewer and drainage. So it's just slightly higher than the prior years. The middle third of the page contains the pertinent sources of revenue for the general fund. The bottom third is the revenue trend of the other major funds, and the very last line shows the revenue for the entire town. So the revenue for the general fund over the prior 6 years reveal a trend from 65 to 70%. The general fund's revenue for 2016 is mid-range at 67%. The revenue for the town as a whole, that's displayed at the bottom line, trends from 75% to 79%, and we are currently at 76%. One of the contributed factors to the lower than average percent of revenue is the drainage fund. The town budgeted for a significant county grant that has not been received. This concludes my financial report as of the end of June.
Thank you, Madam Comptroller. Any questions from the board on the financial report? Hearing none, I will now entertain a motion to accept the financial report.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Financial report is accepted. Minutes?
Approval of minutes, June 2nd, 2016, the special town board meeting.
Can I have a motion?
Moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved.
June 9th, 2016, the workshop meeting.
Have a motion?
Moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Do we have an abstention?
Abstention.
Councilwoman Barnum abstains.
The June 16th, 2016, the regular town board meeting.
Moved.
Second. Abstain.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are accepted.
Item number 1, calling for a public hearing on the matter of granting a special use permit to operate a car wash on premises located at 1365 East Ridge Road in an M manufacturing district.
I'll shortly call on our planning administrator, Ms. Ivers, for an explanation of the hearing, but I just want to underscore this by saying this is exciting. This is a parcel on Ridge Road that has long been vacant. For those of you here or watching at home, it's the parcel next to the Hampton Inn Hotel between the Marshall's Plaza and, as proposed, it's a Royal Car Wash, which is a nice car wash we see in Brighton, Henrietta, Greece, and some self-storage. It's good that that lot is going to be redeveloped. It's been vacant for too long, and we're excited about the redevelopment and enhancement to the tax roll. Can I have a motion for the resolution?
Moved.
A second?
Second.
Ms. Ivers, anything further in detail?
No, I'll just add that this item is going to be going before the planning board for site plan approval this month, and I'll be going before this board next month for the hearing related to the special use, which is only regarding the car wash.
Yes, thank you. And that hearing will take place on August 18th at 7:35 p.m. Any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Adopt a resolution pursuant to Article 3 of Chapter 104, vacant and unsafe buildings regarding 89 Party Road, Rochester, New York, 14609.
May I have a motion?
Moved.
A second?
Second.
I'll just speak briefly on the next two resolutions. At last month's board meeting, we passed a resolution on 5 properties in Arundecoit pursuant to Chapter 104 of our town code, which regulates vacant and unsafe buildings. The board made issued an order to demolish these 5 blighted properties, given that they were not up to code and simply uninhabitable. At our workshop on Monday, we held hearings which allowed the affected property owners for each of the 5 residences to come forward and give additional information that might help us better inform our motion or alter it. For 2 of these properties, we have tabled the motion in an effort to allow the property owners to first and foremost come up with a plan in short order that will get the residences up to code and inhabitable, and second, a time frame that will a very clear time frame that speaks when this construction will be done on these homes in an effort to remove the blight and make them habitable, up to code, and remove all of the negative things that come with these blighted properties. Can I have a motion for the first resolution?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Okay, Ms. Ivers, anything else on the?
No, you covered it perfectly. Thank you.
Thank you. I always ask just to make sure. Any questions or comments? And this first one is for 89 Party Road. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Pursuant to Article 3 of Chapter 104, vacant and unsafe buildings regarding 423 Lakefront, Rochester, New York, 14617.
May I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 4, regarding temporary access easements for the installation of sidewalk and replacement of a retaining wall on Titus Avenue.
May I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Thank you. And I'll just, these next several resolutions, and I'll shortly call on Commissioner Kiley to explain each one in detail, but some exciting news about some sidewalk work that we're doing on Titus Avenue. the north end of Titus Avenue between Portland and Gardam Road, which will connect the north side and allow pedestrians to travel from the Titus Cooper neighborhood to our new library and other parts of the central part of town on both sides of that street. And the other one will connect a spur on Lakeshore Boulevard from Colebrook to Camp Eastman. And these several resolutions will facilitate that process. Commissioner Kiley?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. The first resolution before you would allow the supervisor to enter into an easement, a temporary easement, access easement, to allow the Department of Public Works and/or the town's contractor to proceed with the project of replacing the retaining wall on the north side of Titus Avenue from Gardam to just past Allwood.
Thank you. Any questions or comments for the Commissioner? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 5 regarding temporary access easements for purposes of sidewalk installation on portions of Lakeshore Boulevard.
Mr. Kiley?
Similar to the last resolution, Mr. Supervisor, this resolution would allow the Town Department of Public Works or its contractor to access private property along Lakeshore Boulevard on the south side of Lakeshore Boulevard between Colebrook and Camp Eastman Way for the purposes of feathering in a grade to make sure that we have the availability and adequate grade to install a sidewalk connecting Colebrook to Camp Eastman Way.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to move the fifth resolution?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
And I'll just note that what necessitates these easements is that we're doing work outside of the public right-of-way, which requires us to get them. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 6, authorizing consulting services for street and sign inventory and pavement management plan, and authorizing the supervisor to enter into an agreement for these services.
May I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilwoman Hushler-Ray. Mr. Kiley?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I'm very excited to put this resolution before the town board this evening. This resolution would hire, via the request for proposals, T.Y. Lin International to conduct a pavement analysis throughout the town of Arundecoit, in addition to the pavement analysis in which they would physically drive all of the roads in town, gradating them, allowing myself and the Department of Public Works to proceed in a efficient manner to resurface all of our town roadways here in town. This firm would also inventory and GIS all of our street signs that you see affixed to every roadway in town. So very excited. I know that T.Y. Lin is very excited to get to work, and with the board's approval, they would begin this process shortly.
Thank you, Bob. An RFP committee reviewed 2 bids that included Commissioner Kiley, myself, the comptroller, and I believe that was it. And I will note that one of the benefits of this is, in addition to conducting an initial canvass and survey, it also gives us an application that we can use moving forward. So it starts the process, and then our own assets will be able to utilize this moving forward. It creates that infrastructure for us. So it's very responsible, forward-thinking, and will allow us to get a better sense of all of our infrastructure, roads, and street signs. Any questions or comments?
And it prioritizes conditions for where we would do work first?
I'll let Bob answer that.
That's correct. So being able to analyze what roads are in need of maintenance where in town, gradating that against all of the other roads in town would allow myself, the deputy commissioner, and our town staff, our labor foreman in charge of paving operations, to better analyze the town as a whole. So absolutely, yes, it would grade it.
Very good.
Yes, we're very excited about this.
Yes, thank you,
Great.
Bob. Good work on your part. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 7, authorizing the supervisor to enter into an intermunicipal agreement with Monroe County Department of Transportation.
May I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilwoman Barnum. Bob?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. This resolution would allow the town of Arundecoit to enter into an intermunicipal agreement with the County of Monroe to fund the project on Titus Avenue for the retaining wall replacement and sidewalk program. Titus Avenue is a county road, and as such, the retaining wall is technically the County of Monroe's asset. The county is well aware that the asset, their retaining wall, is failing, and as such, they have agreed that it needs to be replaced. And this resolution sets forth the path of what the County of Monroe would pay for, 90% of the wall, and what the town would pay for, 10% of the wall and 100% of the sidewalk.
Thank you, Bob. Any questions or comments? Again, good stuff, and we thank the county for their partnering with us in funding on this effort. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 8, regarding a sanitary sewer easement in the Morgan Depot Plaza.
Motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Perticone. Bob or Carrie? I don't know who's going to speak on this.
I can do this one.
Okay, you both could, but we'll let Bob.
This resolution would allow the town to permanently maintain a section of sanitary sewer through the Morgan Depot Plaza. That plaza was recently subdivided, thus the town of Arundecoit will maintain that sanitary sewer, which will service those 4 parcels in perpetuity.
Thank you. And this is necessary due to increased development there, notably the new Panera that's will soon be start to be constructed once the M&T Bank is demolished and moved into the plaza. So exciting stuff, more good things at Depot Plaza, and we're happy to see more. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 9, authorizing the supervisor to enter into new contracts with vendors for the town's 2016 Oktoberfest celebration.
May I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Perticone. Deputy Commissioner Sinton.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. At a recent board meeting, you were authorized to enter into a contract with various vendors in relation to the upcoming Oktoberfest, even though it seems like we were just doing 4th of July. Tonight's resolution amends that contract as we've secured additional vendors, both entertainment and food in nature.
Thank you, and I will note that the board had a chance to review these contracts at our Monday workshop. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 10, authorizing the supervisor to enter into a contract with a vendor for farmers market children's entertainment.
May I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second.
Second.
Thank you,
Right.
Councilwoman Barnum. Don?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Very simply, this is a contract for some children's entertainment at the August 18th Farmers Market, which is also the last movie under the stars.
Thank you, and again, I'll note that the board had the opportunity to review the contracts at our Monday workshop. Do we have any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 11, authorizing an agreement with Lifespan of Greater Rochester for the Safety and Security for Seniors Program of Support Services to the Elderly as approved through the Community Development Block Grant during August 1st, 2016 through July 31st, 2017.
I'll take a motion
Moved.
and a second.
Second.
Thank you. I'll speak to these next 5 right now, and then we can vote on them individually and ask questions if needed. Our 2017 Community Development Block Grant program was approved by the board a few months ago after a very deliberative community process where we took intake and applications from various stakeholders with proposals on how to spend the block grant. For those of you who don't know, the Community Development Block Grant, or hereafter CDBG, is federal money that's provided to all communities, but especially entitlement communities in a block grant form. We're an entitlement community of over 50,000 people. As such, we receive a block grant. We have parameters at how to spend it, notably in lower income and targeting our senior population. We do a good job trying to focus it and get the most in return for the dollars spent. I'm very proud of this year's block grant program. It is building on that which would do good, and also some new initiatives, I think, that are targeting our seniors and our lower income residents, and really enhancing the whole town altogether. Any questions or comments on the first resolution? And I'll note the first one is for the Safety and Security for Seniors program, which is administered through Lifespan. This is a good program that provides upgrades to seniors' homes for things like hand grips on and the bathroom on the stairs, and the town helps fund those projects. So if a senior has a project they wish to have funded, we encourage them to contact the town to do so. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 12, authorizing an agreement with the Medical Motor Service of Rochester and Monroe County for transportation services to the elderly as approved through the CDBG during August 1st, 2016 through July 31st, 2017.
May I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second?
Thank you, Ms. Barnum. This one's self-explanatory, but this is a Medical Motors Service, which provides inexpensive discounted rides for senior citizens to a variety of locations. It's a good program, which we've worked to maintain over the years, and I know it's popular amongst our senior residents. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 13, authorizing an agreement with the Arundecoy Community Cupboard to provide healthy food choices to low-income residents as approved through the CDBG during August 1st, 2016 through July 31st, 2017.
May I have a motion?
Move.
And a second?
Second.
As we know, the Arundecoy Community Cupboard is a valuable resource in town that provides food and clothing to lower-income families. Over the years, we've seen an increased need, and the community cupboard has proved to be a valuable asset for the town, and we are thankful to them for their thankless efforts, really, and happy to help provide this block grant funding to help them fulfill their mission. So any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 14, authorizing an agreement with the Catholic Family Center for non-medical home support services to the elderly as approved through the CDBG during August 1st, 2016 through July 31st, 2017.
May I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Barnum. This is a program that Catholic Family Center over the years has provided to the town for support services, non-medical for elderly residents, social services, other services necessary for seniors, counseling, et cetera. And it's something that we encourage residents to take advantage of, and we're glad to offer it to our senior population. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 15, authorizing an agreement with the Housing Council at Pathstone for housing counseling services to low and moderate income residents as approved through the CDBG during August 1st, 2016 through July 31st, 2017.
May I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Just one note on this. This is one we've actually enhanced over last year in an effort to work with homeowners who are navigating the foreclosure process in an attempt to keep them in their homes, provide counseling. The Housing Council, which is a branch of Pathstone, does a valuable service for residents, and this money helps connect them to their counselors as we, like other communities, try and weather the storm that is the foreclosure process. And I'm happy to advance this. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted. And I will just thank our comptroller for her work on this. She's starting our budget process, so I gave her a break tonight in explaining these. So you're welcome, Annie. But she does a great job along with our consultant, Barb Johnson, in administering our CDBG program. And it's well run. It involves a lot of compliance with the federal government. They want to make sure the dollars are spent with accountability and transparency, and we really go to great lengths to ensure that. So thank you, Annie.
You're welcome.
Madam Clerk?
Item number 16, authorizing a fund balance transfer to finance 2016 capital improvement program projects as stated in the 2016-2021 CIP.
May I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Barnum. This is a replacement of a pump station on Conwall? Conwall Drive, correct, Bob?
Cornwall,
Cornwall,
Mr.
excuse me.
Supervisor.
This is funded through our capital improvement program. I'll note that the financing of this, or the funding of this, does not involve borrowing. We've been able to pay for a lot of these capital upgrades through fund balance money unexpended dollars from previous years, but it does not require us to borrow, which helps our credit rating altogether. And I'm glad we can continue that practice of using cash capital for necessary infrastructure upgrades. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 17, authorizing attendance to the New York State Magistrate Annual Conference.
May I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second. This money was funded through this 2016 budget. It allows for our judges to attend the Magistrates Association Annual Conference, which is, I believe, a requirement for them to be town justices, and it will be held during the month of September. Any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 18, authorizing the permanent appointment of a personnel analysis.
May I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
I'll just explain this. It's a little nuanced. Jason Vanette, since the beginning of 2015, has served as the town's personnel analyst. His responsibilities include managing our human capital and human resources. Upon being appointed, it was done so provisionally because there was no test for the position. He took the test in April of 2016 from a list established. A list was established for the position on June of 2016. I'm happy to say that Mr. Vanette was number one on the list, scoring a 95 out of 100. This simply allows us to now hire him permanently and not provisionally, given he was the top choice off the list. So he's done a terrific job leading up to now, and this formalizes that. So we're happy to be able to stamp it. So thank you, Jason. Any questions or comments? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 19, authorizing the hiring of a laborer in the Department of Community Services Bureau of Public Works.
May I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second.
Second.
Thank you, Councilwoman Barnum. Bob?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. The next three resolutions before the board tonight all are regarding the hiring of 3 employees within the Department of Public Works. I'm pleased to put forth 3 individuals, Robin Golia, Steve Cagnina, and Jeffrey Vanette, to the appointment within the DPW. Rob has joined us for several years now on our summer help, through our summer help program, working in a variety of different areas. We're very excited to bring Steve on with his former employment with the County of Monroe, and Jeff as well with his former employment with the City of Poughkeepsie. So the next 3 resolutions before you would authorize the hiring of Robin Golia, Steve, and Jeff.
Thank you, Bob. And I'll note the active resolution is for Mr. Robert Ngolia to be hired as a laborer. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, resolution is adopted. Mr. Ngolia, are you here? Yeah, please stand up. Congratulations. Welcome aboard, sir.
Item number 20, authorizing the hiring of a laborer in the Department of Community Services Bureau of Public Works.
May I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Okay, this would hire Stephen Cagnita as a laborer, and we'll welcome him aboard. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted. Stephen, are you here? Thank you, sir. Welcome aboard.
Item number 21, authorizing the hiring of a laborer in the Department of Community Services Bureau of Public Works.
Motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Thank you, and I'll note this is the hiring of Jeffrey Vanette as a laborer. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted. Mr. Vanette, please stand up. Thank you. Welcome aboard.
Item number 22, authorizing the hiring of an office clerk 3 in the Department of Planning and Zoning.
May I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilwoman Barnum. Ms. Ivers?
Thank you, Supervisor. The position for Clerk 3 has been vacant in our department for about 3 months. The civil service list was canvassed. Tricia is reachable on the civil service list. She was interviewed by the Director of Development Services, Lauren Kelly, Code Enforcement Officer, Mary Werner, and Jason Vanette. From Human Resources, she was found to be the best qualified candidate, and we're excited to have her join our staff.
Thank you. Is Tricia here tonight? No, okay, that's fine. Just wanted to make sure. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 23, authorizing the replacement of the firewall in the town, the purchase of additional supplies and services, and the necessary budget transfers.
Can I have a motion?
Moved.
On the second?
Second.
Okay.
Nicole.
Ms. Husseray, thank you. This would allow our IT department to replace a much-needed replacement, I'll note, of a firewall for our town's IT infrastructure. This enhances security and protects the sometimes sensitive information that we disseminate through our computers and have on our computers, and is part of hopefully the beginning of additional upgrades to our IT system at Town Hall. It is sorely needed. And I think it will help with efficiency and make us more productive. And I will note that in the interest of transparency, the budget transfers, small at that, but are outlined in the resolution. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 24, declaring 2003 Target Retrieval System equipment surplus property and authorizing its destruction.
May I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second? And a second.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Husseray. Chief Tantello?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. This is part of the renovation project to upgrading the target system at the Arundecoit Police Department firing range. In order to move forward with that, we need to declare the current system as surplus and have its removal with the assistance of the Department of Public Works. The new equipment is to arrive somewhere in the area of August 9th. This is part of the grant that was awarded to the town of Arundecoit several years ago from the state of New York.
Thank you, Chief, and thank you for your work and, again, for facilitating that grant and the completion of the project. I know it was a long time coming and caused you to endure a lot of patience, but a good outcome altogether. Any questions or comments for the Chief? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 25, authorizing the appointment of an alternate member to the town's Zoning Board of Appeals.
May I have a motion?
Moved. Second.
Second, thank you. This would appoint Bradley Upson to serve the remainder of the alternate member's term. We have alternates on each of our planning and zoning board, and the term will expire December 31st, 2017. A note on Mr. Upson, he's very highly qualified. He has a long career in engineering. He actually served for a period of time as the town's the town's highway commissioner before one of Mr. Kiley's predecessors, so he comes well qualified and ready for public service. So we are happy of his willingness and being able to appoint him to this very important board. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 26, adopt a resolution to enter into a release agreement.
Motion?
Moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, this would release would terminate the contract and discharge each other from all actions arising. It involves a security deposit, placed on the McGraw Library by a prospective developer in 2015. The plans for development did not come to fruition through no fault of the town. We have willing to refund the deposit. However, I will note we did incur legal fees as a result and credited the refund to that amount, so the town taxpayers would not have footed the bill for something that did not unfortunately come to fruition. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 27, approving the special event license for the St. Joseph's Ukrainian Catholic Church Annual Ukrainian Festival.
May I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second?
Any questions or comments? This is always an exciting resolution to pass. It's good to see it again, and we look forward to it taking place in mid-August. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 28, approving the special event license for the 4th Annual Mike Coyle Memorial Fun Run.
May I have a motion?
Moved.
Second?
A second. Thank you, Ms. Hushelray. I'll note this takes place on Sunday, August 21st, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. It takes place in the Windale Road, the kind of the Cooper West Arundecoit High School neighborhood. And any additional questions about the race can be directed to Diana Rizzo at 576-4629. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted. This now completes the body of our work for the regular town board meeting of July 21st. Our next workshop meeting is August 11th, 2016 at 4 p.m. here in the Broderick Meeting Room. The next regular town board meeting will take place August 18th, a Thursday, 2016 at 7 p.m. I will now entertain a motion to adjourn.
Moved.
And a second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Meeting is adjourned.
We hope you enjoyed this presentation of the Arundecoit Town Board on ICAT 12, Arundecoit's government access channel.